Eric Swalwell was one of the lead protagonists of the attempted impeachment of Donald Trump as President of the United States, which, of course, resulted in an acquittal. But he's now himself caught up in a scandal involving a Chinese agent, apparently, not only ties to the Communist Party, but actually worked for the Communist Party.
She became a head of 2 student groups at California State University, and then she used her position to gain access to political events and fundraisers, including Swalwell.
This whole issue has tremendous national security implications, Jay, and under normal circumstances, when a congressperson is caught up in this, it would be a showstopper, especially if they were Republican.
How did they not figure out how this college student at one of the University of California campuses in San Francisco was able to do this?
The problem of communist Chinese infiltrating politics, but academia. It's a really big problem. So I think the answer is it's easy when you have the combination of academia, politicians, money, and San Francisco. This is the problem of the Chinese consulate in San Francisco. It is a bastion of spies, and let's just be really honest about it. And we also need to be clear that Eric Swalwell is only the tip of the iceberg.
Swalwell served and serves on the Intelligence Committee. I mean, he's currently on those committees. Of course, he ran for president of the United States, and he wrote a book called Endgame, Inside the Impeachment of Donald Trump.
He says that Chairman Schiff and Speaker Pelosi knew about it at that time. Now, look, maybe he's not removed from the House at that point, but Jay, at that point, that is when Eric Swalwell should have been removed from the House Intelligence Committee. But what did Democrat leadership do, Jay? They left him on that committee and left him with access to sensitive intelligence, sensitive information, and they left him there, Jay, throughout the entire impeachment proceeding when the accusations that he leveled were exactly what he was found to be doing.
Whether or not he was an agent, he was involved with someone who was an agent, and that we know. You have to wonder what was going through his mind when he was making all these caustic statements about the Trump administration. I mean, how do you do that with a straight face and without blushing?
And yet he has got a Chinese operative in his own office, raising money for him, selecting interns for him, doing all the things that a Chinese operative is trained to do out of the consulate in San Francisco with the support of the Speaker of the House, and no one says anything about Swalwell whatsoever. We've got to expose him.
This Gang of 8, I think, needs to be done away with. It's not working. We need to have briefings for all members of Congress, all senators, not just a select few that seem to be holding the information and doing nothing with it.
He is privy to some of the nation's most sensitive top secrets, something that the average congressman does not have access to. He does. And so I have a number of questions about this, as do you, but I wonder how much information did he share with Fang Fang, either advertently or inadvertently, that impacts national security.
What did Nancy Pelosi know as the leader then, and when did she know it then? Because this guy is still serving on the intelligence community. He has not uttered a word about this right now.
Speaker Pelosi needs to step up and say, until this is all resolved, he doesn't get access to any more classified information through the Intelligence Committee.
As an Army officer, which is echelons below a congressperson, we were warned about having deep personal relationships with foreign nationals. And I was only at the secret level. Part of his briefings on the Intel Committee is not just receiving classified material. A part of those briefings, each time the briefings are made, they tell them this is secure information. Here's what you cannot do. Here's how you can be compromised. They warn us about how to conduct ourselves when we possess this kind of information.
Maybe there's something going on and we don't know. I doubt it. With the FBI. But why are they not all over this? Because this is a serious breach and a serious move, Wes, by the government of China, the Communist Party, to infiltrate right into a congressman's office who sits on the Intelligence Committee.
Yeah, there's a double standard in the media and in the swamp, and apparently at the FBI. I mean, think about that. I was thinking about Michael Flynn this morning. He was interrogated and eventually entrapped, you can say, for making a phone call to a Russian ambassador when he was the incoming national security advisor. This congressman on the Intel Committee apparently is getting a law enforcement pass.
Accusing the President of the United States to be a Russian agent while he's cavorting with the Communist Party's Chinese operative, spy. And, of course, this never came up. You don't think there's a deep state?